Hello, welcome to my channel, welcome to my website. My name is Daryl and this is Programming in Any Language. The website is www.black-duck.com. It's where you'll find all my videos organized in logical order. Well, this is part 3 of the list application. The clear button gets updated. Delete is the process of simply removing the current record. And when working with edit, the search function is necessary, especially if you have thousands of records. You don't want to navigate one by one through a long list just to edit one record. Much better to search for the record. And once you've activated the record you wish to edit, it is a matter of deleting the current record in the position it is in and inserting its replacement. It's really 2 steps, smoke and mirrors. Editing is really deleting and then adding. So I think as an aid to our programming here, so we know what we did already, I'm going to go ahead and take the add button colors, or take the buttons we've done and add a shade of maybe light gray to them so they look a little bit different on here. So I'm going to go ahead and see what might look nice, and I can go ahead and get that forecolor, or the back color I should say, the back color on the button changed to something that looks reasonable, and maybe a control light might look okay. That looks pretty good. It looks like it's done there. So let's go ahead and do that to the load button. Control light look fine. We can take these off later if we don't want, or we can keep them in here. It'll make a decent look for it. And the exit button, of course, is done. So now we know that's all in place there. See what that looks like. Yeah, it looks kind of good here. We can kind of see that kind of stand out like that, so that's going to be fine. We'll hit the exit on that thing. A number of these are going to be, let's do the clear first. Clear is going to clear out the database. This will be very, very simple to do. So I'm going to go ahead and just double click on this piece right here and get our code up for it. And there's our clear button. Clear is going to do nothing more than simply say that ls stuff.clear. And this clears all this box. So it's all gone. We do need to do a few cosmetic things on this. We can certainly say LBL message is going to be .text is equal to list has been cleared. And we want to go ahead and display record count because that's going to change. And we like to set our focus. We want to position the user at that text box there. And that's really all we need to do here. So that should work. Let's go ahead and do a file save all. See what this does. We'll want to do a load. So we have nothing in there right now. Let's do a load here. And once we do that, we grab our My Guys and put them in there. And our navigation set, we can go our forward on here. We can see things are gone. But I would like to clear things now. So I'm going to hit the clear button. And it leaves our current record status at 2, which is not true. But it does show our record count is going to be 0. We're not doing anything with this at this point in time. Let's see what happens if we do an add. If I do a Daffy Duck here and add a new record to it, bang, I get a 1. But I still have to show that record 2 here. Can I do a top? I can, and it does show us, it does correct this thing right now. So really the only thing that's wrong, or it's not actually clearing out that index, that record box. We can easily fix that by jumping out here, and prior to display record count, we might want to set, since we cleared it, we'd probably like to set our current record to -1. So we'll simply do that and say int current record is equal to -1. Reset current record. And that should take care of that little problem. So always details when you deal with a lot of things on it, a lot of functionality. And that's one of the things when you work with something that has so many different functions at it, you need to take it slow, a step at a time. Because we're going to have a mess. You can have a mess on your hands when you're all done. One thing I want to do is we're going to look at this bottom row right here where we got these messages. We're going to try and do what we can with the message box so that they appear only when they look like they're going to make sense. And same thing with these buttons. We might want to disable some of these so they can't be used when the system comes up. For example, if we start right now, we just started the system. There's nothing out there. Do we want to do a save? Probably not, because there's nothing there. So save probably should be disabled. Added and all this stuff could be on there. But, we certainly would like to get rid of the save piece. But let's go ahead and load. Get our My Guys out there again. And we've got some records. Other files been loaded. That's great. Let's do a clear. The clear is now setting, it's looking at -1 there. If we did a Daffy Duck add, it gives us a 1. It doesn't show anything current here. However, if we do our navigation on here, it does show that just fine. So it's working now. So the clear button has been complete. We'll go ahead and change the color on that. Back color was control light. Now that one's been done. Next thing is delete. Well, let's look at it this way. We're going to need to do a number of things here. We want to be able to edit and then either cancel or update that process. Our delete button is going to be able to delete anything in the file that we would like deleted. So we could do this because we have a number of records in the load right now that we could put in there. So we could do the delete next. Delete's relatively simple. So let's go ahead and click on the delete key. Delete is going to take lsstuff dot remove at, and we're going to remove at int current record. Remove current record. And we'd like to display the record count, set our focus, and put a message out there. We can just grab these two guys. And we can say a message right now. That message will be record deleted from list. That's all there is to it. So delete's going to work fine. So let's do a file save on this guy. Run it, see what we got, and let's go ahead and load our file. There's our 5 guys up there. Who do we get rid of? Daffy Duck. Elmer Fudd's not spelled right, so we can get rid of him temporarily. So we hit delete on this thing. Records deleted from the list. Let's go to top. Let's go forward. He's gone. And we have 4 records there. Our current record index is still sitting at 3, or as we navigate through this. So that record is gone. So it does work out just fine. We get rid of this and remove all those records. So that's going to be great. Exit out, change the color on the delete button, and that one's been done. File save all, and we're all set to go. Now, in order to do an edit, we have to find something that we're actually looking for. So we're going to want to do a search. How are we going to do a search? Well, a search might happen if you put something into the text box. If you put something in the text box, you could then search on it, and it'll go through the list. So how are we going to do that? We're going to go ahead and use that kind of thinking to actually put this in place. So my search box is going to start out like this. I'm going to get my programming out and get this thing going. I'm going to say my int current record is equal to lsstuff.index of txt input.text. This is going to find the index of our data entered. If it doesn't find it, we're going to get a -1, that -1 for the current record. If we do find it, we're going to get an index. So an if statement's involved here. That if statement will be if int current record is not equal to -1, I want to do something. So if it's not equal to -1, that means we found it and we actually want to work with it. Otherwise, we didn't find it. So that else is going to go down here, and the else will be LBL message.text equals record not found on the list. If we do find it, what do we want to do? Well, we'd like to go ahead and say that our LBL message.text is going to be equal to record found. Current record has been set. So now I can do that. I can actually go ahead and do something with it that I might like to do. And what do I want to do? Well, I want to display my record count. Just steal that one again. And that's it. So let's see what happens. File save. Run. We do our load. Get my guys out there. The file's been loaded. I can navigate now through any one of these things and find it. So my record count's there. I can use 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, whatever I want. Let's go to Elmer Fudd again. I think he's in the middle of this thing. What I like to find Elmer Fudd. And I could do that by just selecting this guy or actually typing it in straight out. If I type in Elmer Fudd, I'm getting the full spelling in there. Hit search on this thing, and it says record not found in the list. Okay, so let's do a record, get rid of the D here, and try it this way, and do a search and record found. I didn't spell that right. Current record has been set. So it has that actually in there. This is going to allow me to do the delete on this particular guy. I can do my delete, and he's gone. Let's go to the top and navigate through, and it's there. So search works very, very nicely from that standpoint. The difficulty is you can actually go ahead and, if I want to search on any one of these things, top, Daffy Duck, once I have Tweety Bird here, I just need to set the search on it. So I can do the search on this, and it finds it right away. And I've got my current record sitting there. So it works like that. I don't have to do the search for the delete because I can delete anything that's showing here because my current record is always going to be set there. The search is going to be useful when I do an edit on something and actually fix it as well. So search is working now. It's bringing up our record, and that's going to be necessary if we want to do an edit. All we could do an edit with this. If I want to edit Yosemite Sam, I can simply navigate to it and do it. But I might like to search for it. If I have a lot of records, say I've got 1,000 records out there, you want to search for the guy you're going to be searching, going to be changing, rather than just go out there and navigate through till you find it. So they kind of work hand in hand. So let's kill this. Let's go ahead and say our search button's done. Background color, control light. That one's done. It's all set to go. So the next thing we want to do is we might want to do an edit on this. So how do we do that? If you look at the edit, it's fairly straightforward. We'll double click on it. Edit just simply bring forward or allow us to open up the idea that we're going to actually make a change to this guy. So we'll double click on this to bring up this event. There's the button edit. What's it got to do? Well, since we searched on it or we have it or it's sitting there, we might want to just double check and actually make sure we're bringing that current record into the text box. So we'll say text input dot text is equal to ls stuff in current record. And that's enough to bring the places record in a text box, So we know it's there. And we're pointing at the right correct record as well. Now we want to do something a little bit different. We don't want to do anything other than either make a change or cancel what we're trying to do. That means we need to open up the cancel and the update buttons and lock all the rest of them out so we actually can't see them. So I'm going to create a routine called the flip button routine. And we'll just say flip buttons. And that's what we want to call. Now, obviously, we have an error because we don't have that routine set up there. So let's go ahead and create that. I'm going to say private void flip buttons. And there's our routine. All we need to do now is say btn add dot visible is equal to false. That actually is equal to not button add dot visible. Notice we want to reverse visibility of buttons. And remember, our update and cancel are invisible to begin with. We don't see them there, so they're just sitting on the form invisible. We're going to turn those on by doing this reverse button stuff here. So then we're going to say button edit, visible, not visible. btn update, visible, not visible. btn search, same thing. btn cancel, same thing. btn load, btn save. Much better. btn. It's always easy to screw it up when you're doing a lot of this repetitive stuff. Exit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're missing somebody? The clear. I don't see the clear in here. I don't see delete in here either. btn delete and btn clear. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 buttons. Is that how many we actually have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we do. So it's all sitting there right now. So what did we just do? We went ahead and we did the flip button. So our edit routine is sitting there, and we have a flip buttons routine here. So let's go ahead and see if everything's working so far. Save all, start. Our database comes up. We load, get the my guys out there. We can do a search or a navigate, whatever we want to do to get to this thing. And so we'll just go ahead and go to the top of the file, go forward. There's Elmer Fudd again. Let's go ahead and edit Elmer Fudd. If we edit Elmer Fudd, it deletes all the buttons. They're all gone here. And now we only have the choice of updating or canceling. And these will get put back down here once we have these things programmed. They're in a different spot right now so we can see them easily when we're actually doing the program. We have to program the update or the cancel. Right now, it's not going to do anything, Elmer Fudd. So the cancel one will be done first, then the update to make this thing easy. So we have to get out of here this way because our exit button isn't even available at this particular time. So we'll go into here and we'll double click on the cancel button. And by double clicking on cancel, we get this. So we're going to cancel the edit. We're going to basically we're going to set the focus. We can actually set focus. Yeah, this is fine. That's going to point us on the text box again and clear our text box off. Set focus. And we're going to flip buttons. All we're doing is restoring it to the way it was before we actually did the edit. Yeah, we grab this comment. So that takes care of that little piece. File, save all. Does it work? We'll do a load and navigate. Elmer Fudd, edit at him, cancel. By canceling, all the buttons appear back, and we're back to our spot right here with a clear list box. If we navigate forward, it does go to Tweety Bird. It does go back to Elmer Fudd. So that part works. So all we need to do is then the update piece on this thing. What does update have to do? Well, update doesn't have to do too much. What update needs to do, we'll double click on it. Update needs to replace the item in the list box with the edit item in the text box. So that's what we're really trying to do. So let's give ourselves a comment here and say replace the list item with the edited item in the text box. How do we do that? Well, we go to lsstuff.removeAdd, and we're going to get rid of the item that's in there right now, and that's our int current record. This goes ahead and remove the current record. So we get rid of that guy, and we immediately replace it. lsstuff. Instead of using an add, we're going to use an insert. Add in current record. With what? With the text box.text. Place the text box data in that spot. And we can do this. Set the focus and flip our buttons back to where we are. Do a file save on this. Save all. Do a start. Load our file. Do a forward to Elmer Fudd. Edit Elmer Fudd. Make a change to Elmer Fudd. Put in that D in here. And so it's real obvious. Let's put Mr. in front of it. And say update. Okay, let's go backwards. There's Daffy Duck. Forward. Mr. Elmer Fudd is there. Tweety Bird. It's been changed successfully. Now we'd like to save this because we made that change to it, so we could simply save our file. We could save it as a new file if we wanted to, or we could save it right on top of this guy and blow it away. We'll do that. We're going to replace it. Yes. It's done. Let's make sure that worked. We'll do a start. Brings up our database again. We load it. Get our My Guys out there. Navigate toward Mr. Elmer Fudd. So it worked just fine. We can now go ahead and take these buttons here and do a back color in this guy. Control light. Also on the update. And on the cancel. And now we can also take the edit and the update and format them, align their tops. And do the same thing with the search and the cancel, format and align their tops. And now all our buttons are in the right spot. So we'll save all, do a start. And what we see here is we now have all of our buttons are showing here. We don't see the update or cancel here at all. Of course, they were invisible before anyway, but now they're in the right spot. So now if we want to go ahead and load a file, we like to load My Guys again, and then navigate toward Mr. Elmer Fudd and do an edit on Elmer Fudd. The update and cancel show up down here. We could actually get rid of the Mr., update them, and it's back to normal. Backwards to Daffy Duck, forward to Elmer Fudd, and all our databases right there. It's all looking very good. So that's essentially gets most of the program done in a way we would like. Now, we do need to do some testing on this thing because we've got a bunch of buttons showing up that maybe shouldn't be on when we get there. We have some navigation problems that our navigation buttons maybe shouldn't be enabled. We have nothing out there when the current record index is 0. We shouldn't be able to navigate. We should be able to stop that and all those kinds of things. So those are the things we need to do and need to test to actually make sure they're done. But the bulk of this program is done. The next piece we need to do is actually go ahead and figure out how we're going to handle these buttons, how we're going to handle the messages so it all looks good, and how to bulletproof this thing so it doesn't crash when we actually run it. Because it will right now, because we didn't proof anything in here. So we'll do that next. Essentially, the application is done. That is, it does what it's supposed to do. However, we could never turn this over to a user the way it is now. It'll break. In the next video, we'll thoroughly test this application and try to break it. Whatever breaks will get fixed. And once everything is fixed, we will then have an application that we can say is complete. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to use the website for easy access to all my videos. If you get a chance, please subscribe. That way, you'll be notified when something new is available. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.